It was my first time investing heavily in Olympic stocks. Yesterday, I listened to the economic influencer Dalan, and today I lost all my earnings from the past 3 years. I lost all the money I had made from my investments. So, everyone, it's evident that making money is truly difficult.
Welcome everyone back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about the China stock market. And if you guys don't know, within the last few days, and you could even say about a week ago, there was talks of extra boosting to the economy through stimulus packages to China and a bunch of other stuff. And a lot of retail traders hopped into some of these Chinese ETFs and other stock memes. And basically the price of it has plummeted. A lot of people are upset, not happy, and that's what we're going to be looking at today, is breaking it down, seeing what these reactions are like, and seeing what is happening in China. So if you like the new format of the video where my face cam is in here while we go ahead and dissect some information, let me know if you like it, and I'll be sure to do more. So as you can see, we are talking about China today, and as I was talking about, have a look here. We're going to be starting with this Twitter post. This person is saying, "I'm confused right now. Remember when China was supposed to be stimulating? Well, China just announced a 20% tax on overseas investment gains, and the tax was largely ignored. And as you can see, this quote from Bloomberg, wealthy individuals are being summoned by tax authorities to assess payments part of President Xi's common prosperity push." And as you can see, down 6%, down 5%, down 8%, and the largest Chinese ETF is down 5%. And as you can see, look how much it is plummeting, and this guy is not liking it at all because this is in his stock portfolio. I think it's Robinhood. And yeah, as you can see, people aren't happy with it. And even one person saying one of China's biggest issues is capital flight. Everyone that makes their money there gets it out of China as fast as possible. This could be an attempt to change. And, people are saying that the CCP are coming and striking again. And if we have a look over here, these are some of the comments that people are saying, on China online. And basically what this translates to is that cannot invest in China stocks for long term. So as you can see, people are not happy about investing into these Chinese stocks because they're basically just losing money. And, this is just what happens with the stock market. It goes up, goes down. And obviously because of this push and talk of the economy bolstering and, all these stimulus stuff coming out that China's been talking about, that's why all these retail traders went ahead and put money into it. But as you can see, it's just plummeted and no one is happy about it. And if we have a look over here, you can see it says recently hundreds of stock market investors in China committed the S word by jumping from buildings. Yang Jiang Shengqiao, hopefully I said that right, from China took loans and loans to invest in the Chinese stock market and lost it all in the stock market. He committed the S word by jumping from a 28-story building on the morning of October 19, and he was 28 years old. So as you can see, this person was only 28 years old, and you can see him at the top here. I'm not going to play the video. I've seen it. And, it does happen. It's what the video suggests, which is not good. But look, he was only 28 years old. He invested in the stock market. And yeah, look, he was not happy at all. Obviously, he would have been really sad, would have been fighting a lot of emotions. And that's what happens in the stock market. People leverage loans, money from families, all this kind of stuff. Because at the end of the day, people just want to make money. These are people just like you and I who want to make some money, do some work. And, some people's form of making money is putting in the stock market to invest. And as you can see, this is what it can cause, which is not good. I've seen a few other stories like this, but this is the first one I've seen on Twitter the last coming days where someone has it on video. I don't know why this person's pre-recording. Maybe he was screaming and stuff on the balcony beforehand, but as you can see, 14 seconds long. And of course, there are bots that are commenting because it says, "Wow, amazing." I don't see anything amazing about that at all, but it just goes to show you that the internet's full of bots and everything. And, it's just not a good thing to see this stuff. And one of the Chinese stocks here is the FTSE Chinese Bull 3X shares, which we'll get into. And as you can see, this happened around this time here, around October 8th or 9th is when it dropped suddenly. And if we have a look at the peak, and I drop this down here to about now, it's gone down 28%. People are, doing options, calls. I'm not really the biggest investor, so I don't understand. But what I do know, it is kind of like a loan in a way that you have to repay, or your options expire. I don't know, something like that. But as you can see, it's dropped down 28%, and this morning it's actually risen about 5%. But overall, I believe a lot of people were buying around this section up here. And as you can see, within the next trading day, just plummeted 20%. So that's a lot of money, and a lot of people have been losing a lot of stuff. And you might think 20% is not that much, but when you have loans in these investments and you're borrowing family and friends money, you don't know if it's going to hit the extra 20%. And I bet you as well, what happened a lot is I bet you people were revenge trading. It's where you put even more money down than the one you lost. So there'd definitely be people here who have lost money, and they've decided to double down with more, hoping it would come back up. But as you can see, straight away down another 10%. So it's only a matter of time to see how big it can reverse, or it might even drop more. But as you can see, in a daily period here, you can just see it's just more or less free falling since February 2021. It's just free falling, and look, slowly just coming down. But as you can see, it did make a little bit of a move up. So I guess that's what people were expecting, was for it to go higher. So if we have a look at some more stuff, we can see that in this article on the Wall Street Journal, it says China falls into its own trap. And it's actually an interesting read because it just talks about how the investing in China, especially the political party, there's no real way to make money. And as you can see in the article, it says, according to the Wall Street Journal, reports up to 90 million housing units across China stand empty in a country whose population is falling. Real estate developers cannot service their loans. Local governments, which have long funded their programs by land sales to developers, are drowning in debt. With government encouragement, Chinese households invested nearly 80% of their savings. So this is why there's a bit of unrest in China at the moment with all these investors. 80% of your money in the stock market. So you can see they trusted the stock market. They threw all their money into there, and yeah. And it says, now that house prices have fallen 30% since 2021 in some markets, shocked consumers are reining in their spending, industrial profits are down 17.8% in the past year, youth employment continues to rise, Europe and US are planning new tariffs against an expected flood of cut-price Chinese exports, banks don't want to lend, and foreigners don't want to invest. Why would you want to invest as a foreigner if all of this is happening? As it was said back in this Twitter thread, people were just saying that it makes sense for people in China to make money in China and take their money out and put it in somewhere else because it is risky investing into China. Well, that's what a lot of people are saying. And as you can see, it says the People's Republic of China is caught in a trap of its own making. The success of China's one-child policy spawned a demographic crisis. The relentless focus on housing, created by the biggest real estate bubble since the dawn of time, and locked local governments and hundreds of millions of ordinary Chinese into an unsustainable Ponzi scheme. The success of China's markets reforms created wealthy entrepreneurs and an educated, ambitious middle class that may be suppressed and controlled if communist rulers to survive. And there was some people commenting, and this is interesting because this is a different take. This is a take against it, saying that China's actually it's going to be prosperous. They have lots of investment, they have lots of money flowing in. It's a big pile of land. That's what China is. Massive, lots of stuff going on. And what this person is saying is China bashing has been ongoing for many years, and yet China is still going strong. That GS just released China's estimated GDP growth this year will be 4.9%, and IMF and World Bank about 5%. China is such a big country with diverse landscape and a huge 1.4 billion population. She as always has problems to face and challenges to deal with. Its 5,000 years of history is full of such challenges and difficult tasks. That makes China unique, that China is patient, enduring, resilient, diligent, problem-solving, and original. Today's China is not much different from the past. They still have their culture and traditions embedded in their soul and behavior. However, China did adapt to the modern world with a unique way of socialistic capitalism into their system. Again, they will find their way out of these current problems soon, if not sooner. Now, as you can see, basically this person's just saying they got tons of history, tons of culture, 1.4 billion population. Of course, it will bounce back, and of course, it will come with a lot of controversy when you've got this many people and so much stuff going on. They are a massive economy, the biggest economy in the world. And as you can see, there's other people that say, can't wait to see China crashing. I reckon there's a lot of people that are loving China crashing and all this happening as well. And if we have a look at another article here today, this is an interesting one because this is an investing platform called Moomoo. And I've actually opened an account with them a long time ago to test it out. It's basically like Robinhood, except you can open up an account in Australia, and they were giving out some like incentives to joining in. So I think people in China use it too. But in this article, this guy goes ahead and says that what he's witnessed across social media, YouTube and WeChat is not just numbers and graphs, it's raw emotions of Chinese retail investors navigating the storm of a plunging market. This article reflects their struggles, confusion and despair as they find themselves trapped in a relentless downtrend. So basically it is a market dominated by fear. China's stock market is made up of 80% retail investors. This creates a unique, volatile dynamic. 80% of retail investors is a lot, especially when you have big banks. They can push the money, they can take retail investors out, and that's basically what happened. And if I scroll down a little bit, you can see that there's people crying because of this stuff that is happening. This person here has lost 2.4 million yuan, and I've done a calculation into US dollars, and if I have a look, that is about 281,000 US dollars that this person lost. So obviously they're not happy, and I don't know what this says, but what it's looking at is these three stocks that I think a lot of people are investing in, and this is what I've been looking at here. This was actually the first one, and yeah, as you can see, it's just plummeted, and it's still plummeting, but obviously it's regained a little bit of traction. It's up 5% this morning, and it is Monday, so it's just opened up. And if we have a look at these stocks over here, as you can see, what this stock is here at the start is it's a leveraged ETF that aims to provide 3 times the daily performance, apparently, of the FTSE China 50 index. Many retail traders bought this stock hoping to capitalize on its bullish market, especially after hearing about potential government stimulus or policies. So as you can see, the reason why these retail investors decided to hop in is because of the stimulus talk. And I reckon a lot of other people in China were investing into it, and a lot of other people caught wind. And maybe there was kind of like a sheep mentality where everyone was just piling money, copying each other because they didn't want to miss out. And that's the problem with FOMO, is if you get a lot of FOMO, you're just not going to think with your head and go straight in. And the problem is, when a lot of people are investing and talking about it, it's probably a good idea to step away, because these are things that are going to happen, especially in Bitcoin. When it reached its peak, that's when the mums started hopping into it, the dads started investing, and when they start investing, you know that the bull market is gone, because now every retail trader is hopping in. Now, as you can see, this one here, this stock market, is another leverage ETF providing twice the daily performance of the CSI 300 index, which tracks large cap stocks on the Shanghai and Shenzhen exchanges. And it's similar, and these markets are more or less just volatile. And you can see in these comments here, someone said, unfortunately, I was one of the victims of the A-share bull market believer. This cry wolf policies, hesitation of pushing the market, that China government had destroyed their credibility completely. Many new trading accounts was opened during the long holiday, and these new traders instantly get a negative return on their account on Tuesday. So pretty interesting. Some people opened up their first stock account to, invest, and imagine doing that and then waking up the next day and all your money's gone, or most of it at least. And someone here said, I can completely relate to what you're going through. Honestly, I feel a bit of sympathy for your situation because I've been there myself. On the 7th of October, I bought some YNN call options too, and even on the 8th, I experienced a sharp drop. My profits, which I'd been using to flip and reinvest into the call options, took a massive hit between the 8th and 9th. I saw 75% of my profits wiped out. Eventually, I had to cut my losses and move on. I had to change my strategy after that. Unfortunately, a lot of us have been through the same thing. So as you can see, he was just using call options to flip and reinvest his money. So basically started off with a little bit of money, kept reinvesting it and flipping it into the stock. And this is what he invested in. And as you can see, what date did he say this was? He said this was on the 8th and the 9th. He took a big hit. So if we have a look here, look at the 8th and the 9th. This is what happened. This big drop here. So obviously he just woke up and it was all gone. So this is what happened here on Friday. And the market opened here around Monday, Tuesday, and as you can see, dropped. So, there was a lot of talk. You can see it was very bullish and just drops. Not good at all. And there's some other people who was saying, I wouldn't dismiss the news so quickly. In China, 80% of the market is retail investors, and their emotions drive the whole thing. So those discussions on WeChat or news from self media actually matter. When people lose confidence, it can tank the market even more. Even if policies eventually work, those same people will sell as soon as they can break even because they don't trust the market anymore. So yeah, keeping an eye on that sentiment is important. What he's saying is true. 80% of it is retail investors. And obviously, if someone hears a little bit of bad news, people might cut their losses straight away. So, that's what happens with news. It pushes price, gets rid of price. And if one person is feeling a bit shaky, and, as you can see, it did open up a bit less. Let's be real, it tanked. So obviously people are going to follow suit and cut their losses. And at the end of the day, it is 80% retail investors. So, when there's bad news, bad sentiment, and other people are feeling like the stock isn't going to go anywhere, other people are going to do the same thing and cut their losses. So someone said, cut mine to its 16% loss. I'm grateful that I didn't take a leveraged position. Ever since I've changed my view on China's market administration, let's move on. And people said, it's true. People who fail in investments often are those who want to get rich overnight. So, there's kind of talk within this whole thing that everyone, wants to make money quick. That's why people were, flipping accounts here, or flipping his profits to make more money. And, everyone's just cutting their losses. And that's just what happens in the stock market. If people are closing their trades and selling it, a bunch of other people will too, and it just pushes the prices down. So as you can see, I feel bad for these people because they want to invest their money, they want to make some money, and obviously in China, they want to make money. And, this is the dark side of stock trading and investing, especially when, there's things like this where people are hanging off the balcony. It is not a good sign at all. So if you guys are investing in the stock market, I hope you guys are doing your research, thinking with your head and not over leveraging your position, or, unfortunately you'll end up like some of these people who were quite sad. So that's the video for today. We're just taking a look at the stock markets here, what people are saying and how people are feeling. And as you can see, it is not great at all. I hope that this stock here goes ahead and bounces it back. So everyone who invested will get their money back, and hopefully they don't jump into it again anytime soon. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. I hope you've learned a little lesson here on investing. Don't go ahead and invest just because of FOMO, just because your neighbor's doing it, your brother or whatever. Use some research, maybe start off small, use only 1%. And that's basically it. Just use your head and don't trade with emotions is a big thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you want to see some more China news in this format, where I go ahead, I pull up some Twitter posts, pull up some news posts, we kind of have a look at it, have a discussion, let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.